Preface of Ecce Homo. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Ecce Homo by Friedrich Nietzsche. Translated by Anthony M. Ludovici. Translator's Introduction. Ecce Homo is the last prose work that Nietzsche wrote. It is true that the pamphlet Nietzsche contra Wagner was prepared a month later than the autobiography, but we cannot consider this pamphlet as anything more than a compilation, seeing that it consists entirely of aphorisms drawn from such previous works as Joyful Wisdom, Beyond Good and Evil, The Genealogy of Morals, etc. Coming at the end of a year in which he had produced The Case of Wagner, The Twilight of the Idols, and The Antichrist, Ecce Homo is not only a coping stone worthy of the wonderful creations of that year, but also a fitting conclusion to his whole life, in the form of a grand summing up of his character as a man, his purpose as a reformer, and his achievement as a thinker. As if half-conscious of his approaching spiritual end, Nietzsche here bids his friends farewell, just in the manner in which, in The Twilight of the Idols, Aphorism 36, Part 9, he declares that everyone should be able to take leave of his circle of relatives and intimates when his time seems to have come. That is to say, while he is still himself, while he still knows what he is about, and is able to measure his own life and life in general, and speak of both in a manner which is not vouchsafed to the groaning invalid, to the man lying on his back, decrepit and exhausted, or to the moribund victim of some wasting disease. Nietzsche's spiritual death, like his whole life, was in singular harmony with his doctrine. He died suddenly and proudly, sword in hand. War, which he, and he alone among all the philosophers of Christendom, had praised so wholeheartedly, at last struck him down in the full vigour of his manhood, and left him a victim on the battlefield, the terrible battlefield of thought, on which there is no quarter, and for which no Geneva Convention has yet been established, or even thought of. To those who know Nietzsche's life-work, no apology will be needed for the form and content of this wonderful work. They will know, at least, that a man either is or is not aware of his significance and of the significance of what he has accomplished, and that if he is aware of it, then self-realization, even of the kind which we find in these pages, is neither morbid nor suspicious, but necessary and inevitable. Such chapter headings as "Why I am so wise," "Why I am a fatality," "Why I write such excellent books," however much they may have disturbed the equanimity and objectivity in particular of certain Nietzsche biographers, can be regarded as pathological only in a democratic age in which people have lost all sense of gradation and rank, and in which the virtues of modesty and humility had to be preached far and wide as a corrective against the vulgar pretensions of thousands of wretched nobodies. For little people can be endured only as modest citizens or humble Christians. If, however, they demand a like modesty on the part of the truly great, if they raise their voices against Nietzsche's lack of the very virtue they so abundantly possess, or pretend to possess, it is time to remind them of Goethe's famous remark, "Nur die Lupen sind bescheiden." Only nobodies are ever modest.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?